It was a summer morning of June 2013 when I turned on the news and saw a SportsCenter headline that said, Aaron Hernandez arrested for murder. This made me feel confused and angry because I'm a really big New England Patriots fan and also a big Hernandez fan. In January of 2020, Netflix released a special 3-episode series called Killer Inside: The Mind of Aaron Hernandez. This documentary brought back the awful event and tragedy that happened on that summer morning of 2013, and Twitter exploded because of it. Talking about Hernandez today is going to open up some current implications involving childhood trauma and CTE, legal issues with CTE in the NFL, and how CTE can affect our healthy minds. Aaron Hernandez was a promising athlete with a great future in the NFL. In just 3 years in the NFL, he made 1 Super Bowl appearance and did many great things for the New England Patriots. In just 2 of those short 3 years in the NFL, he signed a $40 million 5-year contract extension. Now, you would think his life was perfect, being the NFL star of a great football team and racking up hella bank, right? That wasn't the case. According to Netflix's newly released documentary, airing its first episode on January 15th, 2020, Killer Inside: The Mind of Aaron Hernandez, we can see that Hernandez's life wasn't that perfect after all. His father was an abusive father who would come home drunk and abuse the future NFL star and his brother. And in 2006, when Hernandez was only 16 years old, his dad died from a complicated routine surgery. Now this set Hernandez off the edge, causing him to join violent gangs, hang out with the wrong crowd, start drinking and doing drugs, and excessive partying. Now, these factors in Hernandez's childhood show how traumatic his years were and the trauma that he endured as a young teenager. Now let's fast forward a few years in Hernandez's life. In that summer of 2013, he seemed to have everything going for him. In the offseason, he signed a new contract extension, and in the upcoming season when the Patriots play their first game in August, he is looking to have an even bigger season. His life wasn't really perfect after all, because it all changed in the blink of an eye. According to a Sports Illustrated article written on January 16th, 2020, on the morning of June 26th, 2013, Aaron Hernandez is arrested at his house for the murder of his friend, Odin Lloyd. Now, as soon as the Patriots hear of this news, he is released right away. Over the next few years, Hernandez goes through numerous amount of trials, which involve the potential murders that he could have committed in the past. And on the morning of April 19th, 2017, Hernandez is found dead in his prison cell, hanging from a bedsheet. Now, why would this superstar athlete go on to kill his friend and then kill himself out of the blue, showing no signs of a dangerous mental state? After his death, Hernandez's family donated his brain to the Boston University CTE Center, and the findings were astonishing. According to the Boston University CTE Center, Aaron Hernandez had the worst case of CTE seen in a young person. Now, what is CTE? CTE stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is a degenerative brain disease caused by multiple traumatic hits to the head, and the brain does not recover. When these hits continue to happen without the brain recovering, these things called microtubules in the brain spill out tau proteins. Now, tau proteins are bad. When tau proteins are spilled out in the brain, they spread like wildfire, attacking vital portions of the brain. If we look at Dr. Ann McKee's study of the Boston University CTE Center announced to the public on November 9th, 2017, we can see that the tau proteins did the most work on the frontal lobe and amygdala of the brain. According to The Brink, the frontal lobe is important for decision-making, judgment, and cognition, while the amygdala is important for emotional behavior, fear, and anxiety. Now, let me show you a picture of Hernandez's brain compared to a normal 27-year-old's brain. This was a study conducted by Dr. Ann McKee, who we can see Hernandez's brain if we just look at the mass, we can see it's significantly smaller than a normal person's brain. And if we look here and here, we can see that the tau proteins did the most work right here in the brain, and this is normal. And if you look around at other portions of the brain, you can see that tau proteins destroyed these portions of the brain. And this is a normal brain with no tau protein destroying it. Now, the finding of the worst case of CTE found in Aaron Hernandez is not a justification for his awful act of murder, but it is an explanation as to why he snapped so suddenly. After Hernandez's family heard of the news of the CTE in his brain, they started to put things together of why he was acting the way he did and how he turned away from his loved ones so suddenly. In an article written by USA Today of September 21st, 2017, the family sued the NFL and the New England Patriots for $20 million. The lawsuit focused primarily on how the team and NFL were fully aware of the damage that could have been inflicted from repetitive impact injuries and failed to disclose, treat, or protect him from such dangers of that damage. As the lawsuit progressed, there was one big problem. Hernandez was not listed as one of the players that opted out of a concussion settlement with the league. You see, NFL players whose season ended before the 2014 season gave up the right to sue NFL parties. Hernandez never opted out of that settlement because he was arrested in 2013 and he didn't have the option to opt out of that concussion settlement. That means that the family could not go through with the case. The discovery of CTE of Hernandez's brain and the lawsuit against the NFL made the organization realize that they need to step up their concussion protocol and realize that they need to do better in player safety. In an article written by Time of November 2017, doctors discovered the first case of CTE in a living person. You see, CTE can only be discovered in an autopsy after death. But doctors injected radioactive trackers into the brain, which binded to active tau binding sites, indicating that CTE was present. The study conducted of the CTE case in Aaron Hernandez's brain, along with the lawsuit, opened up new doors for the discoveries that are to come in the field of CTE. Today, we talked about how the combination of CTE and childhood trauma can really twist someone's mind, how the NFL responds to issues with CTE, and how CTE can really affect someone's mind. I would not have guessed that on that summer morning of 2013, when I heard about the murder, that would open up new doors for researchers to understand the mysterious disease of CTE, but it did. And as we can see, we are getting closer and closer to understanding the degenerative brain disease once and for all. Thank you.